And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome to Open Connection. I'm your host, Robert Pictou. On the 20th of September 1972, Canadians across the country watched the final game in Moscow live or tuned in on the radio. When Paul Henderson scored in the final seconds, giving Canada the victory, the country erupted in celebrations. That same year, a terrorist 8th grader started his new job at a local sports store. On today's Open Connection, Big Bob Clark.
Once upon a time, long ago, a store was born. It was operated by a man who became known as Big Bob. How he got that name, one can only imagine. Big Bob sure liked to dress up. But one thing's for sure, Bob knows his sports. Over the years, All Seasons has grown and grown and grown.
Except for me, Big Bob. So come on down and see why we're your source for sports in Terrace. I was born in Lacombe, Alberta in 1958. Then we moved out here in 1972 and I went to Skeena. The store opened in grade 8 by two wonderful brothers. Steve and Kevin Sparks opened up the store, and then short period out and I got the first job. And I was working there the first day the store opened, which also coincided with the first year the arena opened. So the Terrace Arena opened in 1972, so we saw antique skates from probably the 40s coming in with cardboard toes and mold and everything. It was wonderful. I was selling. Yeah, I was selling hockey gear. Then we branched out a little bit into foot gear. We also sold ski gear. Basically, the store was where Trigo's, we used to split his repair shop and our store. We're split in the one building on the corner. And then as the season went on, we got into ski gear by January, and it was around the corner. So if you want ski gear, we locked up the hockey. We went around to the ski gear. If you wanted hockey, we go back in there. Until 73, when one of the partners, one of the Sparks brothers, bought the old City Hall building, which is where National is now. That was several different buildings, but it was quite the old wood antique. And at that time, I was still working as an employee, but I bought in 1977, just after I graduated. I've been doing it anyways under the current boss. Freight would come in, I'd price it, put it out. It was really a big transition for me. It wasn't until our store really started to increase in size that it became, then, well, I'm in charge of this. And then we were there for a couple of years, and then we moved to where Gemma's is, or Sandpiper now. And then we moved beside the Bank of Montreal into a fair-sized store there. And then 27 years ago, we built this. Well, really what I wanted was totally opposite to what we got. I was going to have a 10,000 square foot store with a wraparound mezzanine up top with a 20-foot ceiling. And because of parking regulations and rules, we couldn't do that. So then we went to a basement concept like this with the upper. And if you think about curiosity in our lives, we don't want to take the stairs up, but we'll always take the stairs down. But also the economy took a big dive that year. The mills all shut down in town. They had a protest through town with logging trucks and everything. And then we also experienced Canadian Tire coming and Walmart. Canadian Tire was a huge hit. Yeah. Probably the hardest hit I've ever had. But every hit makes you stronger. Every hit makes you want to improve and work through it. And that's what happened. We had to change our product mix. Yeah. And we also had to change our price points. People weren't coming to us for lower price merchandise. They were going to Canadian Tire, so we lost like 25-30% of our sales immediately. So then we adjusted more mid to high-end prices. And with that came more high-end service. You know, skate sharpening was always strong with us, but we also got into baking your skates so that you can skate on them quicker. You know, they feel broke in after you heat them in an oven. We also had stretching machines then, so we could stretch the front of your toes. They're usually tighter. Bunions, that kind of thing. So we did that for running shoes, skates, and ski boots.
All Season Source for Sports is your sports equipment service center. We sharpen, stretch, and custom fit skates so they're right for you. At All Season Source for Sports, we even fix composite hockey sticks, stretch shoes, and service bikes. We can string your rackets and tune your skis or snowboards. and it's customer service with a smile at All Season Source for Sports, your service center since 1972.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Thanks for staying with us. With 1,923,456 votes, Terrace, BC became the first community to win Hockeyville in the West. Over the past 16 years, Craft Hockeyville has awarded over $4 million to 89 communities across the country. Before we return to the conversation with Big Bob, we open our archives to bring you this news story from 2008.
2, 3. About 500 people showed up in support of the River Kings and Hockeyville. It was the Terrace Committee's first big event held in Terrace. Their goal is to show community spirit and the love for hockey. And that's exactly what happened as minor hockey was on hand. The River Kings and hundreds of supporters from around Terrace also showed their colors. Another goal for the committee is to get as many essays, letters, and pictures as possible to post on the CBC website. Coordinator Bob Park says the event was a success from all aspects.
It was a great turnout. There's lots of kids there. It's great to see everybody in their jerseys. And we had over 70 letters wrote, and we're going to get those on that website, and we want to be number one. Silver tip, and from myself, we're getting jerseys, and we're hoping to order some mini sticks so people can start buying them and really start flogging it. And then from December 1st to December 6th, it's going to have Hockey Stick Week, and we're wanting to see everybody toting around a hockey stick.
Hockeyville was huge for me. I co-chaired it, and I regained, well, I don't know if I regained, but I was remade into a very confident person. After chairing that and it being so successful, it really gave me a boost mentally. I think it was just the success of having a wonderful committee. We had a great group of people, and just being able to coordinate them all together and to pull off a project like that was amazing. Oh, it was what we needed, because we'd had I wouldn't use the word depression, but things had really gone off course. People weren't working like they were, or the mills weren't as productive and stuff, and it just gave Terrace another reason to be here. You know, when the plane showed up at the airport, there was over 500 people greeting them, which the Canucks weren't even used to, I don't think. And then we sold out the practices. The game, of course, was a sellout. The organizer of that particular event was Wendy Kane and Associates out of Ontario, and she told us, "You raise the bar so high in Terrace, nobody will touch you." And I went to some Hockeyvilles after, and there was never the spirit that we had created. There was never the impact on the city that we had. You really got me now. Well, we started to develop the second sheet of ice in 1997, I think we tried. I'm getting all mixed up here now. And then Hockeyville came after. No, we had Hockeyville. We had the second sheet of ice. It just gave a new feeling of we're okay, you know, and people got together. I mean, we had 5,000 people in the park to watch the Mighty Ducks game and to sign autographs the next day. And, you know, talking to those NHL players that came, they'd never had crowds like that. So it was really, really effective. I just kind of improved my working atmosphere, my relationship with my staff, things like that. It's kind of a good, it's a good feeling. Yeah, you're kind of cool because I used to serve your dad, you know, and I waited on your grandpa. So it's kind of a good feeling. This whole 50 years and I guess some of the attention I'm getting, I never expected. I mean, I've been doing it for so long, it's just a daily job. You get up and do it. Try and service customers the best you can. Always told my staff, raise the bar, increase the wow factor, make sure people are happy when they leave.
Let's set the scene. It's Saturday, May 7th at 7:30 p.m. The town is abuzz. The Terrace Sportsplex is filled with fans taking in the championship game at the Koi Cup tournament. There's a crowd gathered at the Skeena Mall watching a Canucks game. But underneath it all, everyone is waiting for that announcement, the crowning of Hockeyville 2009. The crowd at the Skeena Mall is growing a little antsy with excitement, waiting for the first intermission. And finally, there it is. It is time to announce the town that will be crowned Hockeyville. It's a countdown. Number 5, 4, 3, 2, and then the volcanic eruption.
Terrace, British Columbia.
Terrace is Hockeyville. What are the words to describe it? Insanity, pandemonium. How about we stick to pure joy and pure pride? Saturday night, Terrace, BC went national.
Oh my God, it's electric. It's electric. I mean, I just feel everybody's energy running through me. It's shocky. It's like it's fun. It's like overjoyed. I mean, really, how can you define a group such as this? I mean, I don't know how many people are in here. Maybe 200 or 300 people. You know, and they're all like going crazy, and everybody's happy. So it's electric in here.
Unbelievable. This was fantastic. I could feel it coming when I walked into the building tonight. It was just electric in here, and as you heard just a minute ago, words can't describe it.
And over at the Terrace Sportsplex,
we're speechless. Definitely, this is so great. It's just amazing for the city of Terrace. We put a lot of work in this. The whole community contributed and made this happen. And all our friends and Northwest BC, Northern BC, and whoever voted for it. It's just so great. And what this has done to Terrace is that it's really got the imagination of everybody in town. Everybody talks about Hockeyville, and this announcement is just absolutely over the top.
the past few months have shown this town, this region, what the community can do when it comes together for a common cause. It didn't matter age, color, or creed. Hockeyville became that tie that binds.
I'm feeling that this is phenomenal. This is Terrace. This is what Terrace is all about. This shows our community support, how we get together behind anything we do. And everything that needs support, we support it as a community. Everybody, you drive down Terrace, you can only see pride everywhere and community spirit, and that's really what this town says forever and ever.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome back to Open Connection. Golf is known for its unwritten rules like never walking on your playing partner's putting lines, shaking hands at the end of each round, and the way everyone in the group gets together to help look for strayed golf balls. Before we return to the conversation with Big Bob, we open our archives to Big Bob playing golf with a bear.
All-season sporting goods for all your golfing needs. Terrace.
I'm going to be 64 this year. And when a person's in business for 50 years, you see a lot of things change. You see a lot of different stuff happen. And I'm not saying that any one of these was the main contributor. It's just the fact I want to move on. I want to do something different. The demands in retail today are way stronger than they were 20 years ago because you're competing online. People have got their phone in their hands, checking prices, checking whatever. And the consumer knows more about anything when we come in than we do because they've done their research. So that part has really made a difference in focus. The cost of doing business has gone way up. Insurance costs, wages, those things. The pandemic didn't hurt us because we were into sports that were done outside, so it helped us in that manner. But people have changed. It's just everything has changed. So I'm ready for change. Yeah, I think Terrace has now shifted into the ordinary downtown of any small city in Canada. We are supporting people because we have the facilities. So people get sent to Terrace because we do have places to eat and sleep. So that's been one hardship I think we've earned a little bit. and it has kind of taken the fun out of the game. Now we're worried about security. We're worried about our staff safeness. You know, I have gone through a great rigmarole with the garbage cans lately in the back. It's a garbage can, it's a dumpster. They're pulling the lids off. They cut the locks again the other night. And those are things that aren't fun to do anymore. And it just kind of ticks on another little notch of, I'm done. Yeah. I think I'm going to sleep in the first day. I don't know for sure. I do plan to travel a bit more. I do plan to maybe do some more of my woodworking that I do. I do that in Tarja, which is basically pictures with wood. And maybe take up the game of golf again a little bit more. I don't know. The sky is wide open. In Tarja. It's actually from the Italy, I believe, in the 1600s. And you make pictures out of wood. So it's 3D. I've got a lot of them upstairs that you can have a look at. But yeah, it's fun. A local sign maker in town was doing it, and I thought, that's cool. That is really cool, because you can use all different kinds of wood, and when you sand it, it shapes differently. When you put the varnish on, it jumps out. So I've really enjoyed doing that. Oh, it's very therapeutic, because you're working with a piece of wood. You're creating it into something. You know, you're making the hip bone of a deer, and all of a sudden the wood comes out, so it flows with the grain, and the hair and everything looks natural.
Good day, welcome to our commercial. I am Doug, and this is my brother Bob. How's it going, eh? Okay, our topic for today is all season sporting goods inventory clearance sale. Beauty, eh? Because we are experts in the field since he owns the store. Beauty, eh? Okay, everything has to go. Beauty, eh? You get a close-up with all this stuff, eh? Oh, beauty, eh? Okay, the commercial's only 30 seconds long, and it's almost over. I'll take off. Okay, go on down to all season sporting goods where you got more than 30 seconds to look at the performance. Beauty, eh? Okay, so a good day. Good day, eh? Okay, good stuff.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
The charm of fishing is that it's a pursuit of which is elusive but attainable, a perpetual series of occasions of hope. In this final segment of Open Connection, Big Bob shares his plans for the future.
This is Big Bob. Bob's big on fishing. One thing about Big Bob, he's a bit bizarre, a perfectionist. Likes to practice his technique almost anywhere. Fishing is his life, his way of getting away from the world. Big Bob says there's nothing like the solitude, that downright relaxing feeling when you're fishing for that special catch. He says it's an all-seasons kind of sport. All-season sporting goods has all you'll need to make this fishing season your best yet. Whatever your fishing style might be.
I have no idea what's happening here. No idea. I'm turning over the keys, that's all I know. It's going to be a big loss for Terrace because there is no place downtown to sharpen your skates anymore. There's no high-end hockey shop outside of Prince George. There's no ski shops outside of Smithers. So there are a lot of voids that have been left by us closing. But I just got the point where it's too bad. I gave everybody a chance. Definitely. I mean, shop local makes the world go round. If we did it with our city, we did it with our province, we did it with our country, we'd be better off. But again, today, a lot of consumers, I understand totally, it's all about price. But also, we are controlled very strongly about what we sell stuff for by manufacturers' suggested retails. And so, I've always maintained there'll be a better deal out there somewhere. It might be in Nova Scotia, it might be in New York City, but we try and be competitive because it only makes sense. If you're too high priced, people aren't going to shop here. And word gets out fast. But you do want, I feel, people most want to touch and feel. To buy running shoes online, you see it all the time on Facebook. Didn't fit, too big, too narrow, whatever. Where you can come in and actually touch and feel the product. It's better. And it's your small businesses that employ local people. Sponsor teams. You need a door prize for your little son's raffle. Where do you go? You don't go to the box stores and you don't go online because you don't get anything. So then they turn to the smaller merchants like ourselves. And that's where you hope that the word comes back, well, let's support him. So it's always been, to me, it's a no-brainer. Shop out of town, money stays out of town. Shop in town, the money stays in town. Employing 250 people, where did that money go to? That money stayed in town. Same with, we've had sponsorships in hockey and baseball and stuff for years and years and years. We had a marathon, 5K, 10K half marathon, we ran for 32 years. And those are the kind of things you give back to the community. You expect it. But again, Joe Consumer today has changed, and you can only do so much. It's blown me away. Absolutely blown me off. I couldn't get over it. I still can't get over it. I've had phone calls from all across Canada and different people contacting me and congratulating me, and I'm just not used to that kind of stuff. So it's very, very, very overwhelming, but I'm very thankful. I had a gentleman call yesterday that I haven't seen in 15 years. Saw the global news coverage and phoned me just to say hello, how you doing? And we were really good friends when they lived in Terrace. So it's calls like that. Even a comment from your son, I'm proud of you, Dad. So yeah, I've been a little overwhelmed by it. From Ontario, came in to say goodbye. So, and I had 2 or 3 other teachers yesterday. One that I had in grade 10. So no, I've met that's I guess the good thing about our small town. It's bigger now, but I've made thousands and thousands of connections. And I believe that today that life is about relationships. And if you don't develop a relationship with somebody, there are holes in your life. There's things that you just don't do the same way. But I've always believed in making people smile and being honest and making sure, especially in our store, they get what they're looking for. I think we need more events. And I know we've been on hold because of COVID, but we need more street festivals. We need more things in the park to get people out, to get people happening. Unfortunately, I think our downtown is probably under 25 merchants now. But that's been through a lot of other reasons that's happened. But I think that's the big thing, is we just need to make our city more business friendly. I'm not saying that I won't, but I've already been on Chamber for 6 or 7 years, on TITA for 6 or 7 years. I was involved with Rotary for 6 or 7 years. I was on the library or the art gallery board. I was on the Child Development Center board. So in some ways, and that's the thing I think that Terrace really needs, the younger generation has to step up now and realize it's not all about us old fogies doing things, and people complain about, counselors are old maybe, or whatever, we need new blood. But it's that generation now that needs to speak up and jump into there and give it. And that's what I feel. I'm almost too old to be on some of these boards and stuff now, because you want new, young, fresh ideas. I've never looked at life that way. I've never done anything because I wanted the recognition. And I feel the same way about this now. I mean, I'm grateful for it. I'm thankful for it. But it is what it is. And it's just, I cry all the time anyways when stuff like this comes up. But no, I'm overwhelmed, but I'm very grateful. But I'm not one to say I deserved it. I've never been that way.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Open Connection. The greatest distance in the existence of man is not from here to there, but the connection from his mind to his heart. If we can conquer that distance, we can soar like an eagle and realize our immensity within. I'm Robert Pictou.